In a bid to ease the burden on the country's electricity crisis, government has moved forward with its independent power producer program. Yesterday, Energy Minister Gwede Mantashe announced 8 preferred bidders to supply 2,000 megawatts of emergency power. But it will be rather a few months before the country begins to feel the benefits of this program. Let's find out more now. We're joined by energy expert Mike Rousseau. Mike, thanks for your time. We appreciate it. So we have this list. 8 preferred bidders, 51% South African owned, 41% black owned. Have you managed to go through the list? Are you satisfied with the people involved here? Can they actually produce this energy for us?
I think in this instance, I believe they can. The timelines or the timelines that they've given are fairly tight, and they will require special intervention on the part of government to accelerate the process, in particular approvals such as environmental approvals and such. That's not to bypass them, but in fact to speed up the process. That will be required to meet those deadlines. Otherwise, they won't be met. But I think the good thing is that they are now seriously considering bringing in power boats. Those are fairly large vessels with power stations on them. And then they are fueled by ships that carry liquefied gas on rotation. So that's a fairly reliable and a quick connection, save for the connections into the Eskom grid. That is a challenge. That would take some time. But other than that, that would provide some of that power, particularly during emergency periods. The other good news is that they are talking about bringing in renewables. It's important to note that renewables in themselves do not necessarily supply emergency power as such, but they do supply very cheap energy. And in that way, they would be avoiding use of very expensive existing Eskom emergency supplies, such as gas and pump storage. So overall, a good story. The key question here is, will government deliver on this? They can, if they step up to the plate.
Yeah. So 2,000 megawatts. How much power is that in terms of filling the gap when it comes to what Eskom normally can't fill and leads to load shedding?
I think the easiest way to explain that, I think we've all been experiencing what is referred to as level 2 load shedding, and that refers to 2,000 megawatts.
Okay. And then just in terms of the deadline as well that the minister gave them, August 2022, I think it was. Is that likely, though, given how long this process has taken in itself?
It's very tight, Sean. It is really very tight. It's doable, but as I said, it's going to need extraordinary input on the part of government, and in particular the IPP office, who plays a big role in this process, both of which, unfortunately, at this moment is fairly thin on the ground. A lot of the key people that were in the government in this regard, in energy, as well as in the IPP office, have left. So it's going to be tight, given the fact that they're thin on the ground when it comes to people. But I still believe, and I'm confident that it can be done, but it is going to require somewhat extraordinary action. And extraordinary means going beyond the normal. This requires abnormal action.
Yeah. And lastly, if you just look at the list of companies, I see we have a Turkish company also involved, and government was saying that it needed the right expertise to get this right. Are you satisfied that this list of 8 bidders actually does that?
I think they should. I do believe they can. For them, it's going to be difficult to deal with the South African requirement for local empowerment. But if they bring in the necessary skills and capabilities and expertise and experience on their part, combined with South African engineers and managers, they should be able to pull it off, yeah.
Yeah. All right. Thank you so much for your time. We appreciate it. That was energy expert Mike Rousseau.